Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be working on a sketch that I got from Pinterest. And this sketch is going to have a lot of like mixed media texturing to it. And I'm going to show you how you can use the layout or the sketch and basically simplify it and make it your own. You don't have to do a whole lot of mixed media. So you can pause here, make your own cuts and whatever you want to bring to the table, and then come join me. So for mine, I'm using challenge. I think it's lots of layers, and I wanted to use these what do they call them? I guess they call layer elements. I think they are something like that. But a lot of 49 and Markets collections come with this as an option. And so I'm just going to kind of tear these right here just so I can make it easier as far as flipping through. So we're going to start with this small one with the color wheel. And they have a version of it in chipboard, and then they have a flat like laser cut of it. And with these, you can choose which one you want to do. I decided to use the chipboard element because I wanted it to kind of have that dimension. So I always start by looking at the photos, and I just start pulling out the different elements. And I tried to figure out like, how am I going to get this to hook on to this pin? Well, I took a portion of the top, I'm going to fold it over, put a little bit of tape and some of my wet glue, just enough to create a little loop, right? And then that little bit right there is going to stay and dry, and then we'll open the pin and we'll be able to slide it right through. Exactly. All right. But in the meantime, we can keep it separate and put this all together. So now I'm just kind of laying it out, trying to create basically everything I see that's on the picture. And with these, you only get the one that's in the top of the merchandising paperwork. There's not like a separate like sheet where it tells you everything you need or anything like that. They always leave it up to you to create or use the photo as a way to mimic, or you can go out on your own and do your own thing. Some of these ribbons that we get, I always like to trim them down a little bit. Even still, this one is kind of big, but with the layering and putting the other things on top, it'll be okay. Now this heart is another laser die cut. And then I want to say there's a button that goes yes. So this button, you have two options. You can use the paper button. There is a paper button version. Or you can use the regular buttons that come in the kit. And on this particular one, I decided to use a regular button. And then we're going to put it on its little pin, and that element is done. All right. So now for the other part that I want to do, I just wanted to show you guys just how quick they are to put together. Now, initially, I'm picking this one out and I realized, you know what, that's awfully big. And for the one that I want to work on next, the image is similar. And then I saw this smaller version and I was like, you know what, I think that's supposed to go with the big. So we're going to leave that there. And I'm going to take the smaller one out that I found. And then I'm going to grab the saying. And then, is there anything else? I think the little black stripes. I couldn't find anything that was around that size or, maybe a little bit bigger or wider. So I think I wind up either getting another one of the small stripes. I realized this one goes to the other small one, so we're not going to use that. And I'm just going to, I think, yep, that's the other piece. And use the two of them. And then put the sentiment kind of like that. Yeah. And then put that right there. Okay. So I think that's all the elements. And we'll start putting this one together as well. And things like this are really great, you know, when you're traveling for crops or get-togethers. These are elements that are very quick to put together, and it doesn't take as long as the 12 by 12s, that's for sure. Even with finding the elements or the different pieces for this one, everything still came together rather quickly. We are going to put together our layout as well. I'm just wanting to share with you right now just how quick and easy it is to use these. So if you ever wanted to you know, get one of these elements, and I keep calling it an element. Hold on. Well, we'll keep going, and I'll try and find the name of it somewhere. So we're just gluing everything together, and like I said, I go by the pictures and how or where I'm placing everything. Cluster kit. I'm trying to think of the name, and it could not come to me. Yes, it's a cluster kit. Yes. I'm so excited I clapped. All right, so now I laid down the 2 stripes, and we're going to put the little sentiment on top. And then I believe there's just a few more elements. We're going to add this butterfly. And then I believe a heart. And when I was done, the ones or the pieces that I put together that I didn't use, I did wind up just putting in the same packaging with all the rest of the elements or the parts that make up our clusters. So that way, if I decide, oh, I want to use one of those clusters from the cluster kit, it's right there in the packaging, and I don't have to look anywhere else. So really quick, boom, boom. Now, of course, I got to do the last one because it's purple. So we're going to grab that stripe that I had originally. I know there's a heart. And then I think there's one of these butterflies. And one of the cool parts, I know I'm kind of jumping around, but they really do give you a lot of extra stuff as far as like there'll be multiple white butterflies, but on the pictures you see really only one is used. You don't have to just use the one. You can layer up additional pieces anytime you want to. You're not limited to just what they've done in the photo. These are great stepping off points because sometimes you just don't know where to start. But in the process of doing one, if on the next one you want to change it up, go ahead. There's no rules. So I folded over my top edge, and now I'm going to tape the back of the stripe and get that attached to the purple banner. And then once I get them glued down, we'll put them on the large pin as well. Okay. And if you guys want to see any more of these clusters or even the 12 by 12 card kits, just leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to. I'm trying to do up more videos. Sometimes, you know, this is the busy time of the season, so life gets a little away from me. But in the new year, I can definitely look into maybe trying to schedule some pre-videos ahead using some of these elements or these different things that are coming with the 49er market. So we can look into that if you're interested. Okay, so this one's almost done. Just that quick. Boop, boop, boop. Add the button and you're at the end. And then we're just going to slip the pin through just like we did the other two. And then there we have it. That's the third element, the little quick ones, done. And now for the layout we're going to do, I'm going to pull out the pieces for that. I like this large, it's almost like a frame. It's already pre-layered, and that's another thing that's really cute. On some of these pieces, it looks like it's multiple patterns or pieces of paper, but it's thin and it's one piece. It's really ingenious how they do it. So it's layered looking, but it's not too bulky. And then we're going to get what's going to wind up being our sentiment off of here as well. And I think I have a button. Yep, I'm going to pull that off. And let's see. Just trying to make sure I got everything. I think I have to grab this pink. Yep. This pink doily, which I wind up cutting. Whenever I have a doily, I always wind up cutting it in half because I feel like why leave part of the doily underneath the image or papers that you're using? It would be better to cut half, and then that way you can use it on more than one project. Okay, so I think I got everything. And now I'm just kind of laying it out, trying to figure out how these elements are working together. And just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. And I'm looking. Oh, that I found the small frame. I was like, there's something missing. And it was a smaller black frame that I'm going to put kind of on top of that striped element. And so that's what's going to give us our window area for our photo, which I'm grabbing now. And I have printed a lot of photos from the day crop that I went to in New Jersey. And this is one with me and my best friend Beatrice and our friend Carmen, who we met through different crops in Jersey. And we hang out sometimes in rooms on my little scrapbook store. And so I just thought this was a perfect picture to go with the paper I selected, and you'll see why in a second, because I love the pop of red. So I chose this. I think this is one of the foundations or the almost like starter papers. And really, if you get a collection like this, which is the Spectrum Gardenia, there's not much you have to do. If you're not a mixed media person, get papers like this where the mixed media is already done for you. You literally are just laying down your elements, your different pictures or whatever layers you're creating. And this is just cutting it in half so that way we can use it on another piece or something else. And we're just going to lay this out real quick and figure it out. So that way we can make sure everything is looking the way it's supposed to. So I think like the most mixed media I'm going to do on here is the splatters at the end. Because there's really already a splattered look on here. You know what I mean? So there's really not much you need to do. Oh, that's what I decided to do. The other half, I put it up here in the upper left to create a little area with that and the cluster that we created. Which, if you're looking at the sketch, we have the lines going across the bottom with the photo kind of sitting on top, almost like a shelf. And then in the top left, it might be a little bit cut off. I'll see if I can, hopefully I can move this so when you guys are watching, you'll be able to see it. But there's a little bit of interest in the upper left. So that's why I put the cluster with the with part of the doily up there. And at first, this is how I was going to do it. I was going to have them go crisscross, which is one of my favorite little layouts, and go from there. Upon putting this together, we are going to change it up a bit. But real quick, I'm just putting a little bit of wet glue and then we're going to go ahead and attach it as best we can to our bottom layer. And then we're going to go ahead and get the photo attached to it, making sure everything is centered and everybody is being shown, nothing's getting cut off. And then we're going to go ahead and press down. And then I was going to try and like slide it in between one of the layers that we did, like right here. And I think at first I was putting it underneath the whole thing. I like it better with it in between like that. So before we start gluing everything down, I'm going to take the branding strip off. And then in this process of putting stuff back is when I turn it and go, you know what? I do like it as a shelf. It gives us some place where our photo is landed, and we're going to go ahead and put everything down. Now I'm using art glitter glue. I want to say this week might be the last week to get the art glitter glue shipped by Michelle at my little scrapbook store, only because it can't be shipped in the winter months because it messes with the formula. So if you need any art glitter glue, get it now, because you don't want to be in the winter months running out of glue. It'll be really sad. So sad. Every year, right around this time, I always get about 2 to 3 more bottles, because I can't. And really, the glue that I have right now, I have plenty, but the idea that I can't get none until it starts to warm up again, like, I can't risk it. So now I'm putting down the tape runner with a little bit of wet glue to give me some time to lay everything down. And with the film strips, as you saw, I only put glue in one spot, and it was where I knew my photo was going to cover, because with the film strips, they're see-through, but the art glitter glue dries clear, so even if a little bit peeks out, we'll be okay. And now we just go and put our layers back, right? So I'm putting down the flower, and then the pink little like lacy element along the long edge. And this cluster that we did, or we're creating, is supposed to go with the tab up, so it would be more of a horizontal. But the picture I wanted to use is vertical. So I changed it. Just that simple. Changed it, put the tab on the side, and then as we get closer to the end, you'll see I'm going to stamp the tab part with the date. And we're almost done with the layer of the cluster here. And then I'm going to grab, here it is, my little date stamp. It's still on the 19th of August because that's when we all met. And then there's a little empty space where I can write the 23. I'll do that at the end. And now all I'm going to do is take the my little scratch paper, cover up my photo, and then we'll start doing some splatters because it's splatter time. And I think right then I was just really pointing out like all the different layers to you. So like if you were doing that challenge right now, you can't add photos or anything to the challenges, but you can still use them as prompts for yourself to give you a creative jump start. Okay, so right now I just put down a little bit of the, I want to say it's Festive Berries. It's a red mica spray. And then I'm doing some gold. And then the last thing I'm going to do will be the black soot. And usually that's my trifecta is how I look at it. I like black and white. And then it's always another color of some sort just to give it a little pop. In this instance, because a lot of the background is white based, that's why I went with another color, that little bit of red, to tie in all the red, and then hitting it with the gold and the black. So here we are with some close-ups of the final project. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And then, like I said, if you want to see more of these clusters being put together, or the page kits that they have, just leave a comment down below. And like I said, I will try my best to create a little series in the next year, so that way I can share that with you guys. Once again, I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day, and you guys be blessed. See you soon.